here. Don't want to get cut off on the afterplay. All right. All right. Hey guys, Garrett Bryan, and we are back again with another live helping you guys learn more on working on your own cars and just the automotive thing in general. Now, if you are turning in for the first time, pretty much here we kind of chill out and answer as many questions as you can when it comes to working on cars, moving your way up as a mechanic or as a DIY guy or whatever it may be. So if you are in the live right now, put your questions down below and I'll answer them in the chat as soon as I can. Now, keep in mind, this live stream does tend to get a lot of people joining and putting in their questions really quickly. So if you want your questions expedited or you want your questions, put first or answered right away, be sure to just put it as a super chat. That way it pops up really quick. I answer all the super chats instantly as soon as I can, and I'll make it a priority. But if you don't put in a super chat, you could always put in the, comments or, the chat down below, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. Just keep in mind the chat, people be talking to chat. It goes up really quick. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So, thank you guys for joining. Really cool to be back here again on another Friday. And, yeah, just really cool. Really cool to have you guys here right now, honestly. So, yeah. All right, so hi Mark, how's it going? Pretty much before we get any we already got a question already. All right, what's your favorite tool? And I know that's hard, but try. All right, my favorite tool of all time, I've got to say, is I say this a lot in my videos. It's my flex head ratchet. It's my favorite, by far my favorite tool to use. It's a free Ace Vim Tools free Ace ratchet. It's not too expensive. I think it's like under 40 bucks, but really nice, man. It always gives you enough leverage that you need in those very tight, awkward spaces. By far one of my favorite tools to use. And speaking of tools, I linked at the very top of the chat. All the tools that I use for my videos are in the link below on the top of my chat. I pinned it. So pretty much every video I saw a cool tool or a tool that you may have saw, it's in that link. So go ahead and click it. But anyway, I see a lot more people joining in. So if you guys all, want your questions answered, be sure to leave it down in the chat and I'll get to it as quick as I can. A lot of questions do pop up a lot, so let me go ahead and make sure none of those questions were answered yet. Cool. All right, so that question again was from AB and it was, what's your favorite tool? So, all right, so again, guys, feel free to ask your questions as soon as you can and I'll answer it as soon as I possibly can. So, since we don't have too many questions right now in the chat, we'll go ahead and answer some of the questions that you guys had in a lot of my other videos. So I collected a decent amount of questions that you guys asked in videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer them live until we get a little bit more questions going on. Actually, Lenzo Lorenzo, have you worked on a transmission or just engines? I've worked on both. So when I started out as a mechanic, before I got more hands-on, I went into a schooling for a trade school. And in that trade school, they teach you on pretty much every single system. And I had engines class and I had a transmissions class. In the engines class, you have to disassemble the entire engine and, do measurements, all that stuff, and then put it back together. But you don't just have to put it back together, it has to run. And if it doesn't run, you fail. So that was my engines class. For transmissions, same thing. We had a manual transmission class and a manual transmission. Wait, I said manual transmission and automatic transmission. And pretty much we had to disassemble the entire transmission and put it back together again. All the same stuff essentially. Same thing with differentials, pretty much with everything. So I have worked on engine transmissions in the beginning, technically from schooling. And then after that, I did on my personal cars. Like I've done clutches on my personal cars. I've had it taken apart one of the transmissions on my Hondas, which was not fun. And I will not do that again. I've rebuilt engines. I've rebuilt so far 2 engines. Well, technically 3. I've rebuilt 3 engines. 1 was at school and 2 were outside of school. And yeah, so yeah, to answer your question, I have. What is that beautiful car behind you? Good question to Actro too. This is actually a beautiful 2023 Honda Civic, and you guys got to get a little bit familiar to this view right here, because you're gonna see a lot of this on the channel, on the actual chat. You'll see in a live video. You're gonna see it. If you don't believe me, just keep tuned to my shorts. You know. All right, let me make sure nobody else ask any questions. Follow up. For newer transmissions, are they put together? Wait, are they put together to take apart easier? For wait, sorry, that blurred. All right, so Lenzo Lorenzo says, follow up. For newer transmissions, are they put together to take apart easier for automatics and specialty tools needed? I haven't worked on personally. I haven't worked on a lot of new cars, you know. So are they, put together to take apart easier? Probably not. Like, the more newer cars get, the more complex they get, and the more they don't want you to touch the car, you know. So it's definitely going to be a lot more complex to work on these newer cars, especially because of the amount of sensors that are in them, how they, put everything in. It's a little bit more complex. It's still just as basic as some of the older cars, if you really think about it. Like, for example, in a manual transmission, it's still always going to be a flywheel clutch and, all that stuff. But I'd like to say it's pretty much going to stay stagnant to how it is now. You're not really going to see that much more dramatic of stuff. When you're going to Euro cars, you're going to see more of those specialty tools. But for the American and Japanese and stuff like that, you're not really going to see too much crazy stuff. I have seen some very stupid stuff on American cars, just for trying to get them to disassemble. It's a lot more complex. All right, so sorry if I slandered your name. Jordan, I'm just gonna say Jordan. Jordan, what's the worst part about working on cars for you? For me, I gotta say the worst part about working. You're welcome, Lenzo Lorenzo. The worst part about working on cars for me personally is when stuff hits the fan. That's the worst part that I hate. And I feel like I just get that with almost every single car I get. I swear almost I always have that issue. And you think after years, almost a decade of just working on cars, I'd be not avoiding, not having that happen. But it's happening. It happens all the time. Just having stuff that doesn't go right. You're doing a head gasket job and it's going awesome, going smooth, and then the head gasket bolt snaps, or you take out the head gasket, take out the head and the head gasket, and you realize the valve's broken, and now you got to rebuild, the cylinder head, or take it to get decked. The thing I despise most about working on cars is, again, when stuff hits the fan. I know a lot of you guys down in the comments can relate. Put a yes in the comments if you agree. But it is by far the biggest headache. Just when stuff hits the fan, when bolts are too rusted and they strip, when they snap off, when they, it's just so many things that can go wrong. Or you go to disassemble something and now you have to take apart 20 different things just to get to the part that you need to get to. The worst thing about working on cars. That, and then you're having to have specialty tools sometimes, like where you need a specialty tool to get to, the job that you need to get to. It's quite annoying. Nonetheless, it's just very annoying. So I gotta say that's the most annoying thing. Let me check the chat again. Keep in mind I'm using a phone, so my bad. That's why you cover the fan with cardboard. I'm not sure what you're meaning. Okay, so Mark Olson said a regular live Friday night show would be awesome. Yeah, man. Every Friday, I'm making it a goal. Every Friday, I'm going to go on YouTube Live and make this a thing where every Friday we join up. The Gearhead family joins in. We hang out. We have fun. I'm all for it. I hope you guys are for it. But every Friday, I'm going to try to make it a thing where we always hang out. You guys ask the questions you need to ask, and we go just have a really good time doing it. I'm having a blast with you guys right now. So yeah, we'll definitely make it a every Friday type of thing. Okay, so definitely agree. Cars are hard sometimes. Yeah. All right. Speaking of things you've ever. Okay, so AB's question is: speaking of things going wrong, what's the worst time? What's the worst time you've ever gotten hurt working on cars? Like ever broken bones? Okay, so the worst part is I'm gonna tell you two stories that you guys probably won't even. You're just like, what? Okay, so I've had two very drastic incidents where I hurt myself badly, or not badly, just pretty bad for me personally. I've gotten hurt like blood, or like, I haven't broken any bones, but like cut myself, sprained my arms or my hand. Mainly my hand. I sprained my hand before. But the worst thing I had, okay, I'm gonna show you. So two things. The first thing, this one's the most recent. If you see right here, this is recent. It's like probably a month ago. This scar right here on my face. Yep, the actor Miguel. I got hit on the face with an exhaust pipe, bro. It was from a 2014 Dodge Charger. If you don't know, those things have a very big, heavy exhaust. And I was lowering it. One of the brackets broke because of the rust. The bracket broke off, and I caught it. Right, I caught it. As soon as I caught it, I held one of the parts and it spun, and then the bolt hit me, boom, right, really hard. Like I swear I thought I bruised my entire face right here, but it hit me hard here, and that's why I got that that scar right here. So thankfully it didn't like get my eye. I'm blessed that it didn't hit me in the eye because it was this close to getting my eye. But yeah, no, it hit me here, left a pretty nasty scar. Didn't it got me a bit dizzy. I'll tell you that much. And then the other one where a breaker bar. I was cranking down on something, a breaker bar. I was trying to get something. The bolt snapped, guys. The bolt snapped on the breaker bar. And that breaker bar went straight to my mouth and broke my tooth. And thankfully, it didn't hit the nerve of the tooth. That I was still able to get it fixed. But man, that's how I broke my tooth with a breaker bar. So it was both face incidents. One here with the Dodge Charger. This one was an Audi. It was an Audi A4. I remember it. 2012. Freaking hate that car. It was like a 2012, 2010, something like that. Audi A4. Bolt snapped, and I busted in my mouth and broke my tooth in half. Thankfully, I didn't hurt no nerves. But you guys got to be careful. Whenever I look at it, before I go back to the next question, whenever I look in the mirror, I look at this scar and it reminds me like just how quick your life can change. You got to be careful because look, I'm not fazed by this. This could have been my eye. I could have been blind, you know what I mean? But that's how quickly your life can change as a mechanic or working on cars, guys. You got to be careful. Use your Jacksons. Use your safety glasses. I've had chunks of metal almost hit me in the eye. Thankfully, I had safety glasses, but it almost got me in my eye, or a cutoff wheel just caught, the safety glasses got onto the cutoff wheel. So be very careful when working on cars. All right, let's answer the next question. Good question. Good question. So if I ever been hurt before. Okay. Let's see. Wait, if I hit the. Okay, so let me go to the most recent question. It was by Kevin. Favorite type of car to work on and why? I love working on Toyotas, especially 80s Toyotas. I have 80s Toyotas. This is, oh no, fudge. Okay, so this is a 1989 Toyota Corolla. I have two of these. One's right-hand drive, and one's USDM, but they have pop-ups. They're not 11. So I love working on Toyotas, old school Toyotas. Just my favorite thing to do. Honestly, Toyotas, old school Toyotas, newer school Toyotas, I'm okay with. They're not bad. They're not the worst. I like them. But yeah, I like working on Toyota. I love working on, I love working on Honda to an extent. Like, oh my God, some Hondas give me headaches. But I love Honda and Acura make it very easy. Click. This guy. Honda and Acura make it very easy to pull their engines and wiring harness. That's why I love Honda and Acura. They make their cars so easy to work on when it comes to pulling an engine, pulling a wiring harness on them. Like, it's one of my favorite makes. Toyota, like, it's iffy. Sometimes Toyota can mess up with that. On my Toyota Corolla, I have to pull it out of the wiring. I mean, from the dash. It's kind of annoying. But I want to say Toyota, Acura, Toyota, Honda, and Acura are my favorite cars to work on personally. Okay, let me go to next chat. All right, let's see the next question, guys. You guys put some funny stuff in this chat. Lenzo Lorenzo, you can heart all you want. It's not weird. Okay. Do you have a kit or a set of nuts and bolts? I don't personally. I used to. Then I lost it. But it'd be smart to have a kit of nuts and bolts. I have a bucket of nuts and bolts. So I have a random bucket, and every car guy can vouch for me in the comments. I have a bucket of nuts and bolts to, the random cars. It could be an axle nut bolt. It could be yes, the bucket. Vifa, yes, the bucket. The bucket is every car guy or mechanic has a bucket where they have a bunch of random bolts from gosh knows where, and it's just it's the way to go about it. So yeah, so I have a bucket of it, not organized nice thing. So let's go to the next comment. Do I recommend? My bad. I don't know which one I recommend. Bravo, Django. I don't have any recommendations. Amazon has some good sets. I'll tell you that much. Amazon has some good sets, and a lot of people leave reviews on Amazon. That's why I like Amazon for that stuff. Okay, I'm about to replace. Okay, Isaac is about to replace his CV axle, and axle shaft seals. Any tips? Number one, for the seals, there's a tool at O'Reilly's or AutoZone. They sell them, but you could also rent it technically. So you'll put how much the tool costs. Let's say it's $50, $50 tool. Put the tool down, and you get to borrow it. When you bring it back, you get the $50 back. Now get that shaft seal tool because it's gonna help you dramatically get that without making it harder on yourself. It's just way easier to use that to pull the seal out. Now for axles, I don't have the tool. For popping out axles, you can get a small pry bar about probably, let's say this big, probably. You can get under the car, get good leverage, and pop it out. It just takes a good jolt, and you can get it out. Now, my number one tip, for $5, you can get this little kind of crowfoot where you can put it onto your ratchet or your breaker bar, whatever, extended ratchet, and you can get into those awkward places because it might be awkward for you to get access with a pry bar. So all you're gonna do is get that attachment that I'm talking about. It's a pry bar wrench attachment. You put it on your ratchet, and then you can pop it at a weird angle. Now that tool is actually in the link to my description. So if you want later, you can check it out. Go ahead and buy the tool. It's literally like $5, $7, super cheap. I have one at my shop. I wish I had it on me now, but I don't have it, so I can't sell you. But that's what I recommend. And be sure to have a drain pan ready because as soon as you pop the axles loose, you're going to lose fluid. So be sure you have a pan ready because you're going to lose some transmission fluid. Just be aware, okay? Next question. Let's go to the next question. Okay. All right. The next question is by AUB. Do you have a list of tools that you absolutely need to work on cars? My biggest issue is saving money and knowing what tools are unnecessary. So my big list of tools that you need a good set of sockets. It doesn't have to be like Snap-on, whatever. Just a good, decent set. I wouldn't, get, I'm trying to think of a good set. Gear Wrench makes good sets. Vim Tools makes good sets. Are a bit up there in price, but they're not too bad. Husky is a good brand. So Husky makes some good sets for sockets and ratchets. But I'd recommend getting a good set of sockets, ratchet, a good free. You're gonna want a 3/8 ratchet. That's your most common one that you're gonna use. 3/8 sockets and ratchets, by far the most used tool that you're going to use in your arsenal. Next, you're gonna want a a 1/2-inch drive breaker bar. So 1/2-inch drive breaker bar, ratchet, sockets. You're gonna need jack stands. Get yourself at least 2 jack stands, at least. If you're going to work on a car, you need jack stands, no exception. Then you're going to need a jack. So jack stands. Next thing you're also going to want to have is, I'll say like a couple more tools. So you're gonna want a good sledgehammer. So like good 4 pound hammer. It could be small, a small 4 pound hammer. Get yourself good leverage. You're gonna need it, especially if you got rusty parts. A dead blow hammer helps, but it's not necessary. And then I would also recommend getting a good set of screwdrivers, Phillips, flatheads, and then a good pry bar. So universally, that's good sets of stuffs that you need. Now, a lot of the tools that I recommend in my videos are in the description. For the links that I have above, and it's a lot of them are Amazon tools. Some of them are from other companies, but definitely check those out. A lot of them are affordable. Generally, tools that I recommend, I always try for them to be affordable, because if I wouldn't buy it, then I will not recommend it to you guys. If I wouldn't buy it, you won't hear me recommending it. So that's definitely what I would recommend, getting those basic things. And now Home Depot sells a lot of Husky tools. So get it from Husky. Husky tools are really nice. Now, Harbor Freight, if you're going to go to Harbor Freight, screwdrivers are nice. Screwdrivers are nice from Harbor Freight. Pliers are nice from Harbor Freight. Jack stands, they updated their jack stands, are not bad. So you can get it from there or from Walmart. Personally, I've been using the Walmart ones, and they are tanks. But yeah, honestly, those are some things to think about. Harbor Freight, I'd never get ratcheting things from Harbor Freight ever. Don't do it. If you get Icon, okay, but anything not Icon that's ratcheting, do not get. Please do not get. And then an impact gun, of course. You need an impact gun. You can get it from Harbor Freight or for Amazon. I have links to that in my, in the top pinned thing. Okay, so, but yeah, that was Ayubi's message. Let's go to the next question. Okay, Ryan Bauman, are you supposed to see belt movement side to side, or is it supposed to be perfectly straight? Be a little bit more clear about that question. Just kind of be more specific about what you mean. I'm not sure. Like timing, is it a timing belt? Is it, what are we talking about? Generally, like pushing down on it, you want a little tiny bit of slack. You don't want it too tight. You want a little bit of slack on your, even for some timing belts, but mainly for your drive belts. You want, a little bit of, for it to flex. You don't want it too tight. You'll ruin things doing that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Have I ever rebuilt transmission? Yes, and I do not want. Okay, let me redo the question. So a face in the crowd asked me if I have ever rebuilt a transmission. Yes, and I do not want to do it again. Personally, I will not do it. I just don't like doing it. It's not my thing. I'm not that patient with a lot of things like that. So no, I do not want to do that again. Have I done it? Yes. Would I do it again? Not really, unless it's my personal car. I don't want to take it to another person. I would do it myself. But for a customer, no, I do not do that. I will do transmission swaps. I'll do clutch jobs, you name it, but I will not rebuild a transmission for a customer. That is not my specialty. All right, the Bucket Man. Okay, so let's see the next question. Okay, so Ryan said, serpentine, coming over the alternator, looking at it from the side, and the belt looked like it was moving side to side to the side over the pulley. If it's flexing like side to side like this is a straight side. If it's going side to side here, yeah, you might have a tensioner problem. There's something flexing that shouldn't be flexing. So check your tensioner pulleys. Check to see if your alternator is like not loose and it's not wobbling. But you should not really get any side to it shouldn't be wobbling side to side. If you get play going up and down, that's fine. But side to side, you got something going on. Does not look straight. There might just, look at some example videos on YouTube. But it sounds like something might not be up. It sounds like maybe one of the pulleys might be warped or something. So just check it out, man. Definitely check it out. But again, check photos or videos. It might be normal for your car, but most likely it's not. Okay, guys. Let me go to the next question. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Rotor off of my car. Okay, so Trippy, Trippy Monkey. His question is, hey, I want to get a stuck rotor off of my car. I threw hammers, torch, everything at it, and it still won't come off. Luckily for you, I'll tell you before I go into depth with it, I have a playlist on my YouTube specifically for that, I believe. It should be for stuck rotors. If not, I will make one after the stream, but I believe I have one for stuck rotors. I don't know why I don't have my glasses on. But for stuck rotors, pretty much there's a bunch of ways to go about it. On some rotors, they have a little oh, sorry, we got a super chat real quick. I'll get back to your question. The Actor 02 says, oh crap, it disappeared. Okay, the actor. Come on, this thing's. Sorry, my bad, guys. My bad, guys. Where is the? I just saw it. I just saw it. Why did you, okay, the Actor 02 says, where do I get that cool shirt you're wearing? Okay, good question. Now this is a Gearhead Brian shirt. So as you can see, I have the Gearhead Brian logo, and on the back of it, I have the Hope It Helped saying that I'll be saying at the end of the videos. I will actually, it's actually in the link. If you go on the link that's pinned above, in that link tree, if you scroll, it is in there. It is my spread shirt. You know, all my merch, it can be found there. I have Gearhead Brian shirts. I have, you know, Scott Nissan Skyline shirts. I have Funny Mechanic Saying shirts. All of that is there, and it's pretty cool. So go check them out. I love this shirt. I love wearing this shirt at work because I'm like, hey, let's get stuff done. So really cool. So if you want a shirt like this or similar to this, again, it is in my link tree. The link is pinned above on this chat. So good question, Miguel, the Actor 02. Okay. Now let's go back to the question I was answering, Trippy Monkey. So how do you get stuck rotors off? So pretty much how you get stuck rotors off is sometimes on a rotor there is you can thread a bolt into it. There's a little hole where you can thread a bolt into it. Now you put a bolt into it, you get a ratchet and you tighten it down, and then boom, it'll pop off really strongly and it'll get it out easy. Now that's the one thing you can do. If you don't have that, which most cars don't have that anymore, you get a I do this sometimes, but it depends on if your knuckle is made out of aluminum or something. You don't want to do that if it's aluminum. But pretty much what I do is I'll get a bolt. This is a bolt. Now, this is the bracket to the caliper, right? So this is the bracket where, okay. So this is your caliper mounting bracket, and it bolts to the hub right here. There's two holes here, right? You get that bolt, and you put it through one of the bolts there, and then you get a nut, and then you tighten it. And essentially what's going to happen is you're going to tighten that bolt and nut together, and the rotor's right here. You're going to tighten that bolt and nut together until the bolt starts going and going and going, and then essentially like presses it out of the spot. I have a video on this on my YouTube. You can check it out. It's in my playlist. You could also look up Gearhead Brian stuck rotor, and you will find videos on how to remove stuck rotors. But yeah, and then the last thing is getting a good hammer and then go and whack at it with a sledgehammer. Again, you said you did that. It's kind of hard, but heat it where it seats. Heat it where it seats. Keep heating it, keep heating it, keep heating it, and then hammer, hammer, hammer. Do it, do it, do it. Also using a crayon. I've seen this trick by one of my friends. If you get a lot of heat and you heat that area up where it's at, and you get a crayon and you put it where the hub and the rotor meet, sometimes it actually might break it loose too. So I made a playlist for this, you know, for you guys. So definitely check it out. All right, I'll go to the most recent comment. I'll try to go to the rest. So, M. Newman says, am I also a gamer? Yes, I also game a bit. I do more car stuff than gaming, but yes, I game as well. I play Forza Horizon 5, really fun game. I do a bit of Frag Punk now. That one of my, friends got me into that. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I like gaming. But yeah, Trippy, okay, yeah, good, no problem, Trippy Monkey. Now let's go to the next question, guys. If you want your questions expedited, leave a super chat. That's how I'll see it quicker, because right now, kind of everything in the chat is people keep adding to the chat sometimes. It kind of makes it hard to find the questions. All right, so let's see. How is the size? Okay, Vifo's question: how is the size inside a Del Sol good as a first car for bigger guys? I've never been in a Del Sol, so I can't really say honestly, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure. For bigger, I don't know. I feel like it might be like a Miata. If it's anything like a Miata, it might not be a good car because Miatas are very small in the interior. But I have zero clue about the Del Sol. If anybody in the comments below owns a Del Sol, let them know down in the comment if it is okay to if it's a good first car for a bigger guy. So yeah. All right, let's see the next comment. Okay, so remarkable hairdo. His question is, do you think that I can change the clutch and throwout bearing in my Civic myself? Never done this. I've never done it before, but I do have a decent amount of mechanic experience. If you have a decent amount of mechanic experience, I believe you can do it, man. It can be very overwhelming for people who don't work on cars as much, depending on the car. But yeah, it can. Yeah, I think you can do it, man. Some clutches are harder and easier than others. Let me know in the chat below what year Civic it is. I might remember how it's done. But on mine, thankfully, I was lucky enough on the clutch I was doing it on that I was able. Sometimes you don't always have to pull the transmission out to do the clutch on a car. You can just pull it enough so you have room to like kind of get your hands in there and do the clutch like that. That's what I did on one of my Honda Civics because I did not. Typically, you drop the subframe just to get the transmission out on some cars. It is a pain in the butt. And I did not want to do that on that car, so that's what I did. So, nonetheless, yeah, that's something you can do. And I think you should do it, 2012 with the LSD transmission. I don't remember that one too much. Ah, yeah, you do have to drop the subframe. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's just annoying, dropping the subframe. It's not, if you have a driveway or a garage, go for it. By all means, go for it. But for me, I did it in a freaking parking lot, man. I did a 2012 Nissan Sentra V-Spec with an LSD. And I had to drop the entire subframe down on it, off the car. And it was such a pain in the butt, man. Because the problem is also when you drop the subframe, sometimes suspension doesn't want to disconnect. So now you have a bigger headache on yourself. So keep in mind, sometimes, let's say a sway, keep in mind, you're trying to lower the subframe, the sway bar link might not want to release. You might have to torch it off. You might have to cut it off. You might have to do one of the tricks I show you in my videos. It happens a lot. So a lot of stuff can go wrong when you're tampering with other things like suspension. So, but if you have a driveway, and if you have time, do it, man. It's just annoying, especially to me, when I don't have a lot of time sometimes. But I've done it. I hate doing it, but I've done it. So, so definitely do it. And on some Honda Civics, I remember the rack and pinion's not on the subframe, so that makes it way easier. On a Nissan, the rack and pinion was still on the subframe, so I had to lower it down altogether. It was such a pain in the butt. So if it's anything like most Hondas, they have the rack and pinion on the frame of the car, then it should be pretty cake, unless again the suspension gives you trouble. So let's see. Let's go to the live chat and see what questions you guys have. If you guys have any questions about any cars or any, you're starting out as a mechanic, whatever it may be, leave it down in the question chat below. I'll get to it as soon as I can. Again, I am doing the best I can to answer all these questions as soon as I can. So if I haven't answered a question, I'll try to get to it. And if you want to expedite it, super chats are there to help. So let's go to the next one. Did I see? Damn, there's a lot of questions, guys. Let's see. Okay, what's AB's question is, what's the most durable tool brand? I'd say, honestly, Husky's very durable. So if we're talking cheap, okay, I'll give a cheap durable and then expensive durable. So cheap durable, Husky, I get the kick to Husky and Gear Wrench. Those two, very durable and worth the price. By all means, very durable and worth the price. I love them. Now, when it comes to, let's give a medium one. Medium, I want to say a good tool brand, if we're talking hand tools, would be that's a good question. Icon's really good. Icon's really good. I've heard a lot of good things about Icon, but also Vim Tools is a really good one. They're closer to the higher tier with price sometimes, but Vim Tools is a very great durable tool brand. I've been using Vim for a good, you know, year or two, and I like them. High tool brand. I love Mac. Mac Tools is a very good durable tool brand. You know, the more you pay, the more quality you get. Snap-on, yes, Snap-on's good too. But if it's durable and cheap, Husky by far takes the cake. Husky and Gear Wrench by far takes the cake for that, guys. Icon too. Icon in Pittsburgh, and the two are Harbor Freight have that long warranty. Yes, they have that long warranty, guys. But remember, with Harbor Freight, lifetime warranty is awesome, but not with ratcheting things. Not with certain things are amazing at Harbor Freight, and by far I say go for it. But some things aren't it unless it's Icon. Some things are not it. Like again, ratchets are very crappy at Harbor Freight. I'm trying to think of any other thing that's really crappy from Harbor Freight. But there's certain things that are just not it. So, you know, just keep in mind, I stop at Harbor Freight. I have a decent amount of tools from them sometimes. But just keep in mind, there's certain things to get from Harbor Freight and there's certain things not to get. Now, keep in mind when you have tools, just because you get a tool brand doesn't mean you need to stick to that tool brand. You can get any tool brand. You can get Mac. You can mix match. Some people need to realize they can mix match, you know? Impact tools from Harbor Freight would not touch them. I've gotten a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people love Harbor Freight's impact guns. A lot of people hate them. I personally don't use them. I would rather get Amazon probably with some of them. I'll test them out again so I could give you guys my more valid opinion on them. But Amazon stepped up their game with. There's a lot of good Amazon not air impacts, electric impacts out there. So it's pretty affordable to get into electric impact now. So yeah, let's go to the next chat. All right. Next question. Okay, Newman's question is, I want to purchase a hybrid vehicle. Since it's high mileage, which make and model is the most reliable and low maintenance? Now, by far, the best hybrid vehicle ever made, and I mean it with all my might, is Toyota's Prius. The Toyota Prius is the best hybrid vehicle. Why? I'll give you multiple reasons why. No one's made a better hybrid vehicle than Toyota. Toyota still has the best hybrid. They just take the cake. Now, they're good. Why did I say Toyota? They're the best hybrid. They get the best MPGs, so you get very high MPGs. Second is Toyota. Toyota's really reliable. They've always been reliable. And I just like Toyota. And the third thing is they hold their value. So if you ever want to sell it, they hold their value very good. Now, the first generation hybrids are a steal. You can get them for a very good price. Now, they're old. Yes, they're 2004, 2005, 2006. Yes, they look older. They're not appealing. They're uglier. But they're very good. You know, they're the best. The first gen is one of the best Priuses ever made. The newest gen is, you know, definitely takes the cake. I'll give the new gen. And the new gen's actually getting very affordable now. It's like, I believe, $25K now. Very affordable. But, you know, for Toyota Priuses on Marketplace, you can find them between 2K and 5K. You know what I mean? So, pretty cool. But when it comes to maintenance, again, I say Toyota. But you got to keep in mind with secondhand vehicles, you might run into some issues. So look at the common issues on them. Like the common issues for the Toyota Prius, you will see like the ABS system goes bad, the ABS pump. I believe sometimes the actual battery goes bad, but that's common with every hybrid. control arms always go bad. That's nothing to worry about. But the main concern is the hybrid batteries. They'll age. They're not too expensive, but the hybrid batteries and the ABSs, and that's pretty much it. The second gen Priuses, they were kind of bad. They had head gaskets issues for, I believe, either the second gen or third gen. I forgot which gen it was, but second gen had head gasket issues. The Lexus CT 500 whatever. It's a hybrid version of the Prius. It's a luxury version of the Prius. So very nice car. It's probably about 10K, but very very beautiful, sexy car. That's actually a hybrid and looks good and has good miles per gallon. So let me get our next question. Okay, so Ctron 23, how do I do a charging system output test? So the best way to essentially test your charging system on your car is to it depends on how old the car is, but this is what I do. I'll get a multimeter. So get yourself a multimeter, and you'll get you turn on the car, let it run, pop the hood, and then you'll get your multimeter, the plus and the minus. You put it on the battery, and then you want to see that it's set above 14 volts. If it's not above 14 volts, most of the time you're very much in trouble. That means that your charging systems fail. You always want it to be higher, at about 14 volts. Now, if it's below 14 volts and you just see it dropping 14, 13, 12, like you already know, it's shot, Another way with the older school cars, if you don't even have a multimeter with old school cars, with 80s cars, I've done this on 2000s cars. Some 2010s you could do it, it depends on what car it is. But on cars, you can basically turn on the car, disconnect one of the ends on the battery while the car's running. You disconnect the battery, and if it still runs, you have a good charging system. That's how you see you have a good charging system. On older cars, you can do this. I have an 80s car, I have a 90s car, 2000s cars. You can do this. On newer cars, not so much. You kind of mess up stuff like that. But yeah, so definitely something to think about. That's how you do it. There's the old school way, there's a new school way, and they sell Top Don sells like a battery tester, charging system tester, and a starter tester for like I think $50. I'll try to link after the stream into the link above in my chat. But yeah, so there's 3 different ways to go about it: with a tool, without a tool, and with a common tool. So. Saludos back to Javier. Okay, let's go to the most recent question. AB, what is your #1 recommendation for a scanner tool, Snap-on, Matco, or something like Top Don? So, if you're a professional and you're really looking to how to say it? It's justifiable to spend this much. Go with maybe go with the Snap-on Matco. The problem is they're way too up there. They're expensive, guys. So if you're a mechanic on a budget or you don't know if you're going to make the best use of it, you're not going to use it as often. Maybe you're a DIY guy, but you're very involved in your car. It's a high quality Euro car or a newer car. This scanner, I'm going to make a video. I keep forgetting to make a video. It sucks, my memory. Actually, I think I have a pen. Yeah, I have a pen here. Thanks to you. You're going to have a long form video coming out, thanks to you. So let me write it down real quick. But pretty much, I'm going to make a long form video on it. Scanner long form video. But I recommend Top Don and what's it called? Top Don and X Tools. Wait, X Tools, Top Don, and Auto. It's Auto and Top Don make the best scanners at budget. Now, Auto, I haven't used enough I have some Top Don scanners. I have like 2 basic Top Don scanners. They're code readers and they scan some of the computers. But Auto has stepped up their game. So Auto has software depending on like some brands rebrand it. But there's, I'll link it as soon as I can. But I believe Auto has amazing software that can compete with Snap-on and Matco easily. So I have a scanner. I'll make a video on it probably next week. And essentially, it's like free, at most $500 scanner that can scan absolutely every computer on your car. I mean it. So engine computer, transmission computer, you know, TPMS computer, you know, the power steering computer. You could reprogram your key. You can the HVAC system. Pretty much every single computer on your car, this scanner can scan, and it's awesome. I think I might. Yeah, I'm not sure which one mine is. But I'll let you know as soon as I'll try to remember, guys. I swear I'll try to remember. And I wrote it down. I wrote it down, so I'm gonna make a long form video on the scanner that I have. But yeah, Autel has some amazing software, especially with their more advanced features, scanners, where it can compete easily. I had a buddy, or you know, a buddy who has a Snap-on scanner, and then he saw me using my Autel scanner on this one car that I was doing diagnostics on. He's like, man, I paid over 5K for my Snap-on, man, or either 2K or 5K, I forgot, for my Snap-on one, man. What the heck? And then he was showing all the functions I had on it. He's like, dude, how much was that? And I told him it was like, I forgot how much, probably $400. By far an overpowered scan tool that's very much worth it. Now I'm gonna make a video breaking down on the bigger diagnostic ones, and ones are more for just code readers that scan all the codes for the transmission, all this, all that. But the bigger ones, they have all that live data feature. They have the code readers. They scan every single computers. They reprogram. So I can't wait to make that video for you guys. I'll try to make it next week, actually, now that you say that. So let's go to the questions down in the chat. Big Chief Paco, thanks for the shout out and saying I have amazing videos. You guys are awesome, and I wouldn't be able to do a lot of these things without you guys. And you guys definitely motivate me. And because of you guys, that car you see in the background is definitely going to be in my future. So again, I'm going to get to my, you know, the questions as soon as I can. So don't think I'm ignoring you guys if I don't get to your question as soon as I can. I'm just trying to, you know, get to them as soon as I can. Okay, so next question. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? The 2019, okay, Colin, is a 2019 Honda CR-V 2.4 a good SUV? I haven't worked on the 2019s. I know on the older gens they had the K series, and those are bullet freaking proof. Now on the 2019s, I believe they have, I believe they're awesome, man. I believe they're good. Oh, Honda. Was it Honda? Oh no, wrong person. Sorry. Honestly, in general, CR-Vs are really good cars. The old gens and the new gens, so by far go for it. You know, I haven't worked on a 2019. I've worked on the older ones, like the 2016 and below. Now those 2.4s are awesome. I don't know if they put it still in the 2019, but those 2.4s are amazing. I love them. I've had people who've had them. I've worked on them myself. Really good engines, really easy to work on. Hell yeah, go for it. Go for it, man. I've had a lot of people say good things about those years. All right, let's see. Does the scanner work on Hondas? I have to tinker around with my 2019 Honda Civic. Yes, for sure. Bro, Honda's easy. Easy it works on Hondas. Like, and I'm not exaggerating, easily. Now, like the scanner that I'm telling you about that I'm going to put out again next week. I'm going to put out this long form video for you guys because a lot of you guys are asking for this. But this thing scans Euro cars, man. Euro cars. I'm talking BMW. I'm talking Audi. My buddy has an Audi A8. It scanned his. I have, you know, my dad's BMW. It scanned his. A new 2019 Buick. It scanned that one that I worked on recently. New cars, it scans every, damn near, I don't know any car it hasn't been able to scan. And it has a program where you can download every, like, damn near a Bugatti, you could scan a Bugatti one, you know what I mean? Like, I literally saw the opposite. I forgot if it was a Bugatti or it was something very high-end I saw. I was like, no way it could scan that car. But it was cool. But, yeah, it's a really cool scan tool. So I will make the video, a long-form video next week. Especially because of you guys. I know you guys want it, you know? Thoughts on the Hercules 20-volt tools or Icon tools? Icon tools, I highly recommend. I see amazing good things about Icon. I was always hesitant on Harbor Freight because of their Pittsburgh crappy things. They have a lot of good things, but they don't at the same time. Icon, highly recommend. I've never used their 20-volt series stuff. I've seen people use it. I haven't seen it mess up and break and not work. So I recommend it. If you're tight on money, go for it, you know? But also look at the reviews on YouTube for them and see if they fit for you, if they're a good fit. A lot of Amazon impacts have definitely stepped up their game, and I highly recommend you guys checking them out. Like CC makes some good stuff. Robust Room makes some good stuff. I'm trying to think of another Amazon brand. But yeah, I have links to them. I believe I have links to one of them in that what's it called in my link tree at the top. So, but let me go to the next question. Beefy sees Bugatti while trying to scan a 20-year-old Hyundai Rush bucket. Literally, that's what happened to me, man. It was hilarious. All right, let's go to the next question. 2K don't seem right for a scanner from Snap-on. Oh, and I mean it costs 10K bucks on the tool truck. Yeah, it was probably 2K for an old one, you know, like one of the old gens. Because, yeah, you're right. It's probably got to be 5K and up. Probably damn near 10K. Because I can't even imagine the new scan tools, you know. Don't buy, AB says, don't buy anything electric from Harbor Freight unless you're on a budget. If you have money, get Milwaukee. Now, commenting on that, by all means, if you have the money, get Milwaukee. Milwaukee's good. DeWalt's good too. I like both. But I have liked, I have both. Don't get me wrong. I'm not biased to one or the other. Milwaukee has definitely been stepping up their game a lot. So has DeWalt. But if you can afford Milwaukee, bro, get it. They have really good deals on the M18, and I've been loving the M18. It is really cool, stubby impact. I love it. Oh man, I love it. But yeah. So if you can cough out the money, get Milwaukee. If you're tight on money, go for the Harbor Freight. If you absolutely need it, like now, this week, you can't save up, then okay, get the Harbor Freight. You know. So let's go to the, oh, wow, I just realized there's a new feature. I could just scroll down for, okay, anyway. David says, any tips on working on your own car in apartment complex? I have a tiny storage closet with some basic tools, but I really don't have room for stuff like floor, jack stands, or any big tools. So any tips for working on your car so any tips for working on your car and on your own car in apartment complex. So my tip for you is I actually work on cars in my apartment complex. I've done engine swaps in my apartment complex, transmission swaps, clutch jobs. I've done dropping a subframe. I've done coilovers. You name it, I probably did it in a parking lot. Oh, I've rebuilt an engine in a parking lot. I've done crazy stuff in a parking lot, which just goes to show if you have the mind for it, you can do it, man. Don't be discouraged that it's just a parking lot. And yet you might not have storage. You know, what I would recommend, if you can, maybe store some of that stuff in your car. You know, it sucks, I know. But storing, you know, like the jack stands in your car, man, you know, it might help. You know, that's what I would do. You know, I don't have a storage unit. Sometimes what I would do is put all my tools in the trunk, you know, as long as I have a good alarm system. That's what I would do. You know, that's what I did, you know. But yeah, be sure that you don't have a, you know, some apartment complexes are very strict. Some are. Mine is not. Also, I know my apartment complex people, they're cool with me, so I don't get too much. I don't, you know, I'm cool with the maintenance and all the management, so they don't really mess with me anyway. So, but yeah, get permission. Either get permission or make sure you don't have any rules that say you can't work on cars in your parking lot. But yeah, man, don't let anything stop you. Yes, Beefy, an engine in the parking lot. Well, I want to see. I want to see that. Sounds like a nice adventure. Yeah, with my buddy Chris, I've done an engine swap in my 1989 Toyota Corolla. I've done an engine swap in my Toyota Corolla on two of my Toyota Corollas. It was freaking crazy. I have a video. I'm gonna upload it very soon. I'll make a video on it or something, but it was really freaking fun and cool. But yeah, I've done pretty much everything that you can name on a car. I've done in a parking lot, you know. I think the only thing I haven't done is rebuild a transmission in a parking lot. But I don't want to rebuild a transmission. I'd rather rebuild an engine before a transmission. All right. Why is Harbor Freight better than everyone else? I mean, okay, sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but they're not better than everybody else, in my opinion. They're very affordable. And that's why they topple a lot of other brands are very affordable. Like I got a deadbolt hammer from Harbor Freight. Hell yeah. I by far worth every single penny. And I'd rather get that than getting, let's say, a gear wrench one or a, I don't know whatever brand. Because, you know, I'm not trying to invest a lot in that deadbolt hammer. A deadbolt hammer does one job and I'm not trying to go crazy on it. So I got one from Harbor Freight. You know, pry bars for Harbor Freight. You know, so there's some rebrands that are in Harbor Freight, like, you know, so Harbor Freight has some similar pry bars to Matco. They're in Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight sells a torque wrench, a flex head torque wrench that is similar to Snap-on and to Capri Tools and to Olsa Tools. So Harbor Freight has a lot of good stuff, but they also have a lot of good bad stuff, you know. So you got to weigh your options. They have a lot of good, cheap, affordable stuff to get into. So that's why they're good. I wouldn't say they're the best, but they're good, you know. Bad Z100. Any tips on how to successfully remove broken bolt in a tight spot? Left hand drill bit extractor. It's an M6 size. So if it's in a very tight spot, that's rough. So I'm about to upload a video today after this stream. Actually, let me double check the timing. Okay, so soon I gotta go pick up my daughter, so the stream might end. But so answering this question, I mean, so I would recommend if you have enough room to get. I'm gonna make a video on this soon. If you can get a grip edge socket, they're a little bit pricey. It sucks. But wait, was it snap bolt or strip bolt? Oh, it's a broken bolt. Oh man. That's rough. That's different. I thought it was a stretch bolt. Oh, man. Okay, honestly, man, for that question, message me. Message me on Instagram, and I will get back to you. Message me a picture of it, because I need to see specifics, bro. I need to see specifics on how it looks so I can help you. Yeah, so send me a picture. I will get back to you on that, bro. As soon as you message me on Instagram, we'll do that one-to-one. Because this is more situational. We'll have to see, bro. Okay, Scott Patterson says, I did your hit socket with hammer trick the other day to break loose a rusty bolt. Worked awesome. Thank you. No problem, man. It's so cool to hear your guys' success stories with a lot of the tricks I show you. I make them because I go through them a lot, and I know you guys go through them. So I'm super happy that a lot of this works for you guys. You know what I mean? All right, so again, the stream, I'm probably going to end the stream in like 5 to 10 minutes. I really don't want to go, but I got to go pick up my beautiful daughter. So let's answer all right, shoot your questions really quick. Try to make them short and quick so I can answer them as soon as I can. So leave your questions really quickly down below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I'm going to answer all the quick questions because I want to answer as many as I can for you guys. Will you do some gaming stream? Maybe in the future I might do like some Twitch game streaming, maybe. That's separate from YouTube. You know what I mean? So whenever I'm gaming, let's say with my buddy Chris, and you know, we're online, I'll be like, fudge it, Chris, let's game. You know, I'll do a Twitch. So I'll let you guys know about that Twitch if I ever do it. But on here, nah, probably not. I wouldn't do it on my YouTube. I don't want to ruin, you know, like I don't want to mess that up. I want to separate the gaming and the mechanic stuff. So again, ask your questions here really quick, guys. Love the streams, and thank you all for all the tips. No problem, Neon Dreams, no problem. So again, guys, I have like 5 more minutes. Any questions you want answered very quickly, put them down right below, okay? Avery says, love your videos. I love your videos, man. Have not really worked on cars, but your videos can make me feel like I can. Thank you for the stream. No problem. Thank you so much for tuning in. Juice Free says, are you into detailing? Oh, wait, are you into detailing cars too? I used to be. With one of my buddies, I used to be into detailing. I was like, dude, we're gonna do detailing, blah blah. And then I got sick of it really quick. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have the patience, and not only that, I'm very slow at it too. So I wouldn't make a good detailer. Would I detail my car? Yeah. Would I detail my fiance's car? Yeah. Would I detail my Type R? Yeah. But I wouldn't do anything for customers now. No AB, no problem. I'm glad that you joined in the stream and everybody joined in the stream. How did you get into making videos? Bro, this is a crazy story. So I have multiple videos. That's the best question. I love that. How did I get into making videos? So it started out back then. I had this car. It was a 1989 Toyota Corolla Coupe GTS, and me and my brother were like, man, we should do videos on these cars. They're very rare, and this and that. And then we always talked about doing a YouTube channel, and we never did it. And then I eventually did it. I started doing videos on how to work on that type of car, blah blah blah. Video, that channel did good. It got maybe all the way up to 2K. Then one of my brothers was like, bro, you need to expand, man. You need to expand. And I'm like, man, how do I expand, man? I don't, trying to get broad and help as many people as I can. Not just people with that car, but help as many people as I can, And then I was at work, man. I was at work, and I realized I was at work, and I had a buddy, one of my buddies I used to work with. And he asked me, because I'm essentially, I had more work experience at that job. So I was there for the longest, and then he was asking me, Brian, how do you get out, blah, blah, blah. Let's say strip bolt. Brian, this bolt or this thing won't get out. I don't have room. I need to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's easy, bro. And then I showed him the trick. I was like, here's a trick that you do. And then I showed him the trick, blah, blah, blah. He's like, that's awesome, man. Yeah, he's like, I was like, oh, no problem, man. And then I think 2 days later, whatever, same thing. He asked me, how do you do this? I'm stumped, bro. How do you get this out? Same thing. I showed him a trick. Oh, bro, just do this, blah, blah, blah. He's like, bro, you should do videos on this, man. Like, this is, I'm like, it's whatever, And then eventually I was like, you know what? Because for me, I just felt like these things were always like stupid. I'm like, man, everybody knows how to do this stuff. I just thought everybody knew all these tips and tricks. And some people do, but a lot of people don't. Like my buddy didn't know, So I'm like, you know what? You have a point. So I combined what my friend said, what my brother said, and then I started going into it, bro. And, especially once with my daughter, I started this channel right when my daughter was born. I pretty much started this channel when my daughter was born. And that was 3 years ago. And, thanks to you guys, you helped me get this high too. And I love it. I love making these videos for you guys. I love helping you guys. I love hearing all these happy, awesome stories, But yeah. AB says, I know it's late in stream, but any tips for a timing belt replacement? Map out the job. I'll try to make this really quick. Map out your job, Try to look up YouTube videos for that timing belt job. And that's going to help you up really quick. So do research on the job before you tackle the job. You want to be prepared for the job before you get into the job. That's the number one thing that you want to do, So go ahead and do that, and then make sure you have a good gap of time. You don't want to do a rush timing belt job. That is the worst thing to ever do. Hey, buddy, come here. And then I'll try to answer like 1 or 2 more questions. Let's see. Let's see. 1 to 2 more questions. How long have you been renting? You work at a shop or a dealer? So I've been renting for about 7 years, going on to 8 years. I work at a shop. I don't work at a dealer. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Yeah, watch 3 different videos before starting a job from different perspectives, because sometimes people will be like, guys, the only way you can do this let's say clutch, just because this guy was, you guys were talking about clutches. The only way you could do this clutch is because you got to drop the subframe. And I'm like, fudge, I don't want to drop the subframe. Look at 2 more videos. 2 other people might found out a way on how to do it without dropping the subframe. I remember I saw every single video on YouTube. You had to, like, let's say, drop the subframe or whatever it was, right? And then when I went into to do the job, I realized, like, wait, there's another method on how to do it, because I, like, brainstormed and I found it. Yeah, puffers. I brainstormed an idea and found it. So realize, yes, on YouTube, there's certain ways to do it. They show you how to do it. That doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. Just keep in mind that's one way that they did it, but there might be a new way if you think outside the box that you can do it. All right, so like one more question. But yeah, like one more question. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked any of the tools in the scripts, that I use in my videos, it is in the comment. It's in the comment that's pinned. Let me get one more question, guys. Sorry. Another quick question. Let's see, another quick question. If you guys have a quick question, put it down below. How long have you been wrenching? Oh, no, someone already asked that. All right. Any of you guys have quick questions before I keep digging? I know, I'm watching the clock, man. I only got realistically 1 more minute. All right, one more question, guys. Say it or forever hold your peace. Let me see. Let's see. Oh gosh, this dog is really trying to roam around. Let's see. One more question. Damn, I can't dig into any of the. Too long for a minute. Yeah. All right. Well, I swear I feel like just one more question. That's at least a freaking. Let's see. Oh, when's the next stream? Okay, that's a good question. And my fiance asked that question. That's so cool. Okay, so when's the next stream? It is going to be next Friday at the same time, 6:30 p.m. Now, I will say if I adjust, I probably won't, but it will be at 6:30 p.m. next Friday. I will catch you guys there. Yes, happy wife, happy life. Get going. You're right about that. I gotta go. But yeah, if you guys are interested in any of these shirts that I have, they are in the links that's pinned at the top of the screen in the chat. Also, if you want any of the tools that I have ever used in my videos, they are in the link that I just mentioned, literally just mentioned. Every tool that I use in all these cool shirts are, in that link. So be sure to check it out. Be sure to, if it helps you out, go for it, guys. And if you want to support the channel, again, my merch is on that link. So thank you guys for tuning in. It was such a fun and blast. I'm already excited for next month, and my dog's just like, let's go. But yeah, it was really fun. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for the questions. And my dog Simba will say bye and hi to you guys. Yes, I have a Facebook. It's It's Gearhead Brian's Auto Hub. That's the only official. That's my official Facebook. So if you see anything else that's not legit, my Facebook has a check mark on it. So be sure to follow it. So see you next stream. Thank you guys again for joining. And I love you guys. Thanks again for the support. And my doggo says bye. So.